Hello and greetings. Assalamu alaikum. This is Light of Vishwa podcast that you're listening or watching. I have a very special guest today. Before I introduce her, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. How is it during the COVID times? What have you learned? What can you share? Anything positive that's coming out? I know there's so many, I know, um, deaths and all the stories that, and everybody is going through something. It has touched everyone. Anything that we can find something hopeful during this time?
Yes, there's certainly a lot of grief and loss in
Yeah.
communities,
Yep.
in families, and there's a sense of it's just a lot of unfortunate decision making in Washington that has really harmed families and took jobs away from
Yes.
people and took their health care and really put a lot of people into poverty. At least 8 million more that joined the poverty, joined the community that is defined as poor in this country. And we see also the crisis that's coming up on the end of housing. Evictions are on the line. And so there's a lot of organizing, a lot of protesting, a lot of people showing up peacefully in the streets. And there's racism on top of all of that always existed in our country.
Yep.
If we truly learn our history,
Yep.
we should. It's our responsibility. I tell everybody, read the People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn.
Oh, yes.
It will give you, and especially for me as an immigrant, it helps me understand why indigenous communities, for example, were demanding certain things, why they were demanding sovereignty over their land when Trump was taking away their land trust here in the Mashpee Wampanoag here in Massachusetts. Why is it that indigenous communities in the country where I came from, have been crying out loud for their basic rights to their land? And so these issues are intertwined, right? And so the more we understand, the more we learn about our history, and the more we learn about our present and how we can be advocates of change. I think the hopeful part from the COVID time is, I'm someone who truly believes in learning from our mistakes. I think there has been a lot of harm, and we lost over 200,000 people so far. But I think it's also a time for us to, stop seeing each other as who's Democrat and who's Republican and who's independent and start to really see each other as a united country and as a people, right? As flesh and blood. We all bleed red, as we say, right? And so if we truly believe that we are equal, and I do believe that we're all equal in the eyes of God, then we have to listen. And we have to listen equitably, right? We have to make more space for those who have been harmed by our racist policies and listen to the way they understand their problems and their trauma and the way they see solution making. And we can support them by helping them organize, by fundraising for their causes, by voting for the people and the policies that will change their lives into true equality in our country.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
So does your work affect your family?
They both affect each other.
Okay.
So it's, so you can't have everything at the same time, right? You can have this time and make something wait. And that's the beauty of life, is that some things can wait, right? For me, kitchen renovation can wait. my daughter can't wait because she's growing all the time and she's changing all the time. So that I know that needs to be an integration of my work and life, right? How am I going to continue to be her mother, and she will continue to feed me her beautiful energy as my daughter, and I am devoting the majority of my time to, for example, congressional campaigns.
Right. So quite demanding, schedule, right? Yeah, your schedule.
Absolutely, yeah. So my work schedule was from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
So I assume that your second half is very supportive.
Oh, he pushed me into this.
He's like, you are the one. You should do it. Yes. I can take care of that.
Yeah. So I would be just, dreaming about something and having I think I've said to him once, I was very frustrated with Trump. The Muslim ban, the Muslim registry, the attacks on women, the attacks on immigrants, the child separation. It was just so much. And I was just like, well, if he has the power to do all these things, where is our government? What are they doing? And that's the question that started all of that curiosity to understand our election system, to understand the parties, to understand where, the money comes from, what drives policy, the corporate lobbyists and how they're driving policy in Washington and how their money is going into campaigns to elect those who are going to support them. So I saw that the corruption that I was fighting on Wall Street as a regulator at the Federal Reserve was actually being carried into the White House. And so the policy that I was implementing of the Dodd-Frank was actually being shredded in Congress, where Congress voted with Trump to deregulate in a time of uncertainty. And so I knew that the justice that I'm driven by, which is also part of how I raise my child, right? Which is also what this family's values stand on since I was the daughter of the teacher and the farmer, came to play to standing up and saying, okay, I'm going to have a sit down with my family and we're going to talk about this. And my husband was like, are you kidding me? You are going to run. You're going to run for Congress.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wait a minute. I've only been in the United States for 15 years.
How many more years do you want? I guess you should have started right away.
Yeah. And I was like, and I'm a Muslim, and I'm an immigrant.
And he's like, you're just the right person.
And I have curly hair. It's going into line. And you say that's exactly why you're going to do it. Wow. So my family and my work are very much intertwined. A lot of campaign work does take a toll on family.
Right.
But when you know that what you're doing is rooted in the same values that your family is sharing with you, when you're intentional with your time with your family, when you're super busy, but you're cutting out time for your family, for your self-care, right?
Because that's what my question was. Like, how do you do that?
Yes, it's part of the work, and you have to have a team that agrees with you and that understands that, you know what, you're going to need that 1 hour each morning with your family, and you're not going to be disturbed during that time unless it's an emergency.
Right.
And so that really helps a lot.
That's very good. That's very good. So coming to that, how do you meditate, you walk, you exercise? What do you do? Let's come to the little more on you. A
little bit more deeper. Well, I do a lot of things. I feel I'm a practicing, I guess, Muslim. So that's the word. I'm a Muslim.
I have learned that too.
We all are connected, and I believe that the way I feel connected spiritually with the Creator, with Allah, is that I feel that I'm never alone. I just feel that in me and in everything that's around me, there is the presence of God, and that really in the worst of times, and especially in running for office when you're under a lot of attacks, that's the time where I seek a deeper connection, and I seek relief, and I seek focus on the mission and why I'm doing this. I'm fighting for the most vulnerable. I'm fighting for justice. And, I say Bismillah and I try to focus on my work. But I have to, I was doing yoga twice a week. And that really helps because to me, what's mental is what's physical and is what's spiritual. And I have to feed all of that to be able to carry on.
Right.
What else do? I love to cook, but
I was going to say, do you cook? Yes, yes. Yeah, that's true. Have there been moments that you came to, you were almost giving up? Has there been any time that you wanted to give up, or you have never thought of it yet?
You mean pull my hair out?
Yeah, I guess.
I think there are definitely times. It's a huge amount of pressure. I think that especially when you start to feel that what you hear as stereotypes are things that you're facing publicly, and that you're also seeing this big movement of people who you've never met who are standing behind you. And you feel like a sense of empowerment that your message is hitting the people's hearts, right? And to go back at the message of, look, we're not going to accept poverty as a condition for success. We're not going to accept poverty, period. Especially in the richest, most powerful country in the history of the world. And so we are going to do everything we can to change it. That message hit home for a lot of people across the districts. And I started to have these, I get emails from people, I get phone calls, and I always pick up the phone, and I have these beautiful conversations with folks who I've never met. And I wish I could actually meet them in person. COVID has been very challenging. But at the center of it, it's that's what really anchored me, is knowing that in the most difficult of times, there is that. There are those people who I don't know.
But they are supporting you.
Yes, who are supporting me, who are inspired to do something for our country, to stand for that justice agenda.
Those values, those agendas,
those
items.
Values, exactly. And so that makes, the
keeps
crazy
you in
it keeps you in check, and it keeps you grounded, and you can keep going.
That's good. Okay. One thing you like about yourself and one thing you would like to change?
I'd like to change a lot of things all the time. If anything, this work, and I say this to every sister out there who's thinking to run for office, is that it doesn't change you, but it relieves, it unveils to you who you truly are. Parts of you you've never known. How far can you push yourself? What are your true limits, right? How much are you willing to stay on your feet and stay grounded no matter the distractions, right? So what is your true heart? What's inside there? And what nourishes you? And what sways you, from the past? And that's it. That's the beauty of it. It's a great adventure, and it's scary because a lot of the times we don't want to know that much about ourselves, right? We want to put a certain face out there. We want to tell people the image of who we are as we want to construct it, right? How we want to be seen, right? but to our inside, to us, right, within ourselves, that's an exploration of the self. And so I'm very happy that I got to learn so much about myself, but at the same time, I got to learn about, both my strengths and my weaknesses. And in my weaknesses, I seek learning how to be better, how to accept that I have weaknesses and we're all human.
That's good.
And in just the way we are, that is perfection, right? It is perfection in the way we are.
Yeah. Thank you. What is the value of gratitude in your life?
And it's a full circle. If you're grateful,
Yes.
It'll come back at you, and you'll be able to do something good for other people and recognize the goodness in things. And that can be really hard in the darkest of times, where we get really sucked into the bad, right? We can sit here and talk about Trump for the whole hour and we'll miss out on getting to know each other.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But if we are grateful for the movement that is trying to unseat him, for example, if we're grateful for us getting up, no matter the pressures, no matter the circumstances, and making space for this, we'll create something that is beautiful.
Yes. Thank you. So how do you find inner peace?
In different moments.
Okay.
And in different things. I am a lover of trees.
Oh, you do? Okay. I'll send you a lot of pictures because I keep doing that. Those who say, I love trees, I say, oh, okay. Yeah, trees are beautiful.
Trees.
I love
There's
too.
something so
Special.
neutralizing, like the energy around trees is so neutralizing.
That's true.
And, I like to go hiking as much as I can and go into the wilderness and just feel disconnected.
That's how you do it.
Cleanse my lungs.
Okay. That's nice. Very nice.
That really helps. Yeah.
That's good. Do you believe in afterlife?
So I believe that.
I know you're very young to really.
I have. Well, I've lost my father when I was 13.
Yes,
and
I
my
read
mother
that.
is turning 70 this year.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask: is
And,
she here or is she back in Morocco?
So you asked me about the afterlife, right?
Yes, I know. I asked this. These are the questions that I ask everybody. So this is why I want to see how everybody replies.
That's great. These are really great questions.
Thank you.
Every time I think about the afterlife, I think about the losses that I've had in my life. I've lost my dad when I was only 13 because we couldn't treat his health condition. We didn't have the money. We didn't have healthcare as a human right, and I lost him very suddenly from a stroke. And so I felt that it was so unexpected, and it really hurt so much, and it still hurts. It's been so long, and it still hurts. And I've gone back and forth in my relationship with my dad since he died, of just channeling what are the things that I liked about him, what are the things that I didn't like about him. Right? So being more mindful about how much of him I want to carry in my life. And I feel that in that sense that, even when people pass away, they leave a lot behind them. And it's up to us to observe. On the flip side, I feel that this life that I'm aware of and that I'm in right now is a responsibility, is a gift, is an opportunity for me to do what's good for the sake of the good, to do it with all humility and to use every privilege that I have to make it a better place for other people.
Any message of hope?
Yes, you have to believe. You have to believe that there is a better tomorrow.
Okay.
You have to believe that you have the power and the agency to make the change that you want to see in the world.
Wow.
You have to believe that no matter how small the action you take towards justice and love and compassion and freedom and peace, that it goes a long, long way. And so tap into that power and get out there and cast your vote.
Okay. Yes, this was the message, everybody.
Yes, cast your vote and save our democracy. Give us another chance to make it better.
Yes. Thank you. And my last question is, what lights you up?
What lights me up?
Because that's the name of my podcast.
Oh, what lights me up? My daughter's jokes.
Any that you can share?
All the knock jokes.
Nice.
She's
Very
great.
nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Ihssane. I really appreciate your time. I know you are quite booked and busy, and really appreciate taking out time and sitting here having this conversation. I hope we will have another chance or more chances in future whenever you have more time and comfortably can spare. We would love to talk, and especially after maybe 3rd November, maybe we should maybe recollect and see what happens. And inshallah, everybody, God willing, we are trying to make this democracy work. And I have voted, everyone, so everybody should go and vote. Any last thing, anything you want to say before you go?
I wanted to, recognize that we are in a moment where a lot of people are afraid, and there's heightened anxiety, and to recognize that is a step towards feeling relief from it, because we're all one community. We are all, feeling the same way, and have faith. Do your parts. Do your parts. Once you do your parts, you'll start to feel relief. And I know that for many people, it's a clear choice. They're gonna go and vote for Biden-Harris. But for some other people, it's not. They're either thinking about not voting, or they're thinking about whether their vote even would matter.
Yes.
Right? Or they're not satisfied with the choice. Right? These are realities, and we can't just shut the doors on these people. They are our brothers and sisters, and we have to listen to them and pull them in and put comfort into their hearts to just give us this chance, this one time. Give us this chance. Vote for Biden-Harris so that we can get Trump out of the way and we can go and organize in Washington. I'll be right there with you. And so, yes. And I want everybody to take action, to take our destiny into our hands.
Thank you.
And so thank you so much, Shua, for making this space today.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to speak with you.
I hope to see you again. Thank you.
You the same.
Thank you.